Welcome to Live, Laugh, Talk. I'm your host, James Graham, and I'm happy to be welcomed to your ears, and we hope you're happy today as well. And why? Why is because today we will bring you a very special podcast in which every segment, every one of them, will be about happiness and how to maintain it. We're calling it simply our Happy Show. Now, this was suggested by one of our listeners. They said, let's just have a show about good news and happiness. Well, let's do it. We're going to begin with our topic, simply entitled, Be Happy. Then we will transition to our segment, How Did We Get Here?, which is going to be happy, followed by our hobbies and special interest section, again happy, and then conclude with our sunflower message, which is always our happy note for the day. We hope that you share your thoughts with us. We appreciate it. We appreciate the suggestions, and look, we're using them. So please share with us by email at admin@livelaughtalk.com. And if you're listening on Spotify, you can add a voice memo as well as comments and participate in our poll. Also, wherever you listen to the podcast, please follow us as you'll be notified of new episodes when they're released. And also on Apple and iHeart, you can put down ideas as well. You can give us a rating and they will accept a little note to us, and we will work hard on pleasing you by making sure that that is used in our following podcasts. Let's begin with our opening topic, Be Happy. The famous French author and philosopher Voltaire once said, "I've chosen to be happy because it is good for my health." Well, it couldn't be more right there. It's definitely good for our health. But happiness is one of those personal journeys that can be different for everyone. So what we're going to talk about today are some general tips and practices that may help us to cultivate happiness in our life. The first one that we'll talk about is gratitude. I'm sure you've heard people say, "Thank God it's Friday." Actually, there's a restaurant name, TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. Well, we should thank God it's any day that we wake up on this side of the grass. Now, in saying that, that's practicing gratitude. Practice gratitude by acknowledging the positive aspects of our life and be thankful for them. See, we wake up with a positive attitude. We think about the fact that we're among the living. This can shift our focus from what we lack to what we have. Another thing that we might do in our journey to finding happiness is maintaining a positive mindset. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means that we're going to take our outlook on life. We're going to practice gratitude. We're going to be thankful for what we have, but then we're going to take that positive mindset and look on life in a way that we release the negative thoughts. We focus on the bright side of situations. We look at that glass as half full instead of half empty. And I must ask, which person are you? It seems natural for us to look at that glass as half empty. So this takes work in our personal journey to be able to maintain that positive mindset. Another thing that we want to do is we want to care for our body through regular exercise, a balanced diet, sufficient sleep. No, we don't have to try to become the next Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's not what we're talking about here. We want to have physical health because it's closely linked to mental well-being. When we look good, we feel good. And so we can work on our own bodies. Make sure that we take in the right foods. There's such things as happy foods as well. And we want to do this, not take in the gluttonous, greedy, sugary. No. We want to take in the things that actually help us physically, which in turn helps us mentally. I know that I enjoy running. And when I run, I can have whatever happened to me that day. It can happen, but for some reason, those endorphins that I was able to enjoy while running continue throughout the day. And I'm able to have a more positive outlook and a more positive attitude, which helps others who have to deal with me on a daily basis to be able to do so. Moving on. Let's talk about social connections. See, the way that you punish a person, the way that prisons do it, is by solitary confinement. Why do they do that? Because they know that human beings are meant to socialize with each other. We're meant to be able to dwell with each other. So, in saying that, we don't want to put ourselves into solitary confinement. We want to have human connections because they're essential for happiness. Let's work on building and maintaining meaningful relationships with not only our friends, but also our family and in our communities. Joy is found with others. Also, let's look at life in a realistic way. Let's set achievable goals in life, whether those are for our job, for our family, for ourselves. Let's let these goals be something that we can reach. Align our values and interests that way. And then we can see the progress and accomplishment. And with that alone, it brings joy. More ways for us to be able to build upon happiness in our personal lives. What we can do as well is limit negative influences. Now, that means that we may have to minimize our exposure to negative media. And we're going to have to let go. I know it's hard for some, but we're going to have to let go of toxic relationships. If you're in a relationship, and even if you love this person dearly, but this relationship brings you down, it's not assisting you to a consistent well-being mentally. And in addition to that, it's definitely not going to help you to be happy. In saying that, we want to practice self-compassion. Did you notice what I said? Not compassion by itself. We may be compassionate to others, but to ourselves, some of us are harder on ourselves than we are on others. We can't do this. We have to treat ourselves with the same kindness and understanding that we would offer to a friend. We have to excuse ourselves when we make mistakes. We have to accept our own imperfections. Because if we don't, that too subtracts from that happiness that we want to have in our daily lives. We've got to look in that mirror and love what we see. Some more things. We talk every podcast. We have a whole section on hobbies and passions. Yeah, we want to pursue activities that bring us joy and allow us to express ourselves creatively. Well, what is that with you? Do you have a hobby? Do you have something passionate that you could bring to the table to express yourself creatively? I've seen some of my friends take up arts and crafts. I myself took up this thing called podcasting. Yes, through this, I'm able to allow myself to express creativity while bringing joy to myself, hopefully bringing a little bit of joy to you guys as well, because that is what is required of us each and every day to be happy individuals. You know what else we got to do? Now, this is going to be hard, and it's especially going to be hard for our young ones. we got to disconnect from our screens every now and then. We got to pull back from those screens. One man told me, imagine if aliens were to come here on Earth and observe us. They might be wondering what we're looking at in our hands all the time. Some people can't even walk down the street without bumping into things because they're constantly looking in their hands. We got to spend some time away. We got to put that thing up. We've got to put it on do not disturb. And we've got to appreciate nature, appreciate the things around us, and gain a sense of peace. In my yard is this huge tree. I don't know how long it's been there. It's probably 100 years old. I call it the tree of life because I have a bench right under that tree and I can sit under that bench and I don't care if it's 90 degrees outside. The sun doesn't bother me. It shades me throughout. I can sit out there with a glass of water, watch the birds, listen to them sing. And I just have found it to be a way to enjoy life. I've gained peace from sitting under that tree. And finally, guys, we want to learn and grow. Continuously seek personal growth and learning opportunities. There is a 76-year-old lady that has now enrolled herself into law school at age 76. It's never too late for us to expand our knowledge and skills. And see, in doing that, we may not do that for others. We may be doing that for ourselves because then we can have a sense of achievement. Remember, happiness is not a constant state. We're not going to wake up every day with a big smile on our face like the Joker. But what it is a combination of positive emotions experienced over time. And we have to be real with ourselves. We're going to have ups and downs. Life's a roller coaster. But what's essential is to build resilience and the ability to bounce back from those challenging times. And we have to remember, friends, to be patient with ourselves. Find what works best for us to cultivate happiness in our lives. And if we do this, life's a challenge, but throughout that challenge, we will be happy. It has been said that it's better to give than to receive. Well, that must be true in the case of America. Believe it or not, Americans are a giving people. Just last year, $471 billion was given to charity. And of that, individuals accounted for about 69% of it, about $324 billion. Corporations accounted for 4%. You would think that's probably the opposite, but no, individuals care about one another. That's a joy to hear, isn't it? Makes us all happy. And we have some famous people out there. We have individuals who give like it's their full-time job. We have Mackenzie Scott, who is a novelist and a philanthropist. She has a net worth of about $27 billion. But as of mid-December 2022, Scott has given a total of $14 billion to over 1,600 charitable organizations. Now, she's to be thanked. What a giving person. Schwab Charitable has worked with its individuals and families, and by fiscal year of 2023, their group has been able to grant more than $5 billion to philanthropic causes. Already, The fiscal year ended June 30th. There has been $5 billion given. Now, where do you and I come in? We're probably not billionaires, and we're probably not able to give billions, but you know what? What we do give accounts to the $324 billion that was given last year. Have you been able to find a favorite charity for yourself? I know many have clothing drives. Some have charitable gifts taken out of their paychecks every week or month or however they get paid. However you do it, you're a giving person. Have you ever thought about yourself as a philanthropist? And you see, you really are. You are a giving person, and it shows. As a matter of fact, the United States gives more than any other country. It's estimated that the annual private philanthropy as a percentage of GDP is about 1.4, nearly double what Canada gives, triple what the UK gives. And as far as other developed countries, they lag far, far behind. Who is it that gives so much in our country? Well, we find that overall, it's more of the elderly. But you know who has come along with a great force? That would be our millennials. Yes, our millennials are giving at a rapid pace. They are following the examples of their parents. It's said that those who give regularly have children who give regularly. Now, something that's interesting to note is a website named Wallet Hub looked at charitable giving and volunteering by states. And you know what? If you looked at charitable giving and not volunteering, the top 5 states are number 5, Utah, number 4, Colorado, number 3, Virginia, number 2, Georgia, and number 1, New York. But if you look solely at volunteering and not charitable giving, the top 5 states are 5, Maryland, 4, North Dakota, 3, Minnesota, 2, Utah, and number 1, Oregon. Now, those are our top states, but all 50 states give generously. And if you're not able to give by the dollar bill, maybe you give of your time. Yes, it is shown that individuals have given of their time to the amount of $191 billion. If we were to look at the hours worked times the average rate per hour someone is paid, plenty there is given in charity of individuals' time. But it doesn't stop there. Folks are giving, we mentioned earlier, by check donations, corporate stocks, mutual funds, real estate, land, food, clothing, as mentioned before, accessories and electronics, household items. You know what else is starting to be one of those charitable things that's taking off? Is car and other motor vehicles. Planes and boats are even given away. Also, people give of airline tickets and miles. See, some of the things you may not even think about giving away are being done, and it's being done in great number. As a matter of fact, more than anything else is land and real estate together. So when we think about it, friends, we have an opportunity to give and make happy. Because what is said, happiness is in giving. It's not in receiving. It's in giving. And we found that in great number. So when you turn around and you look at these numbers that we've talked about, and you say that in this country, $324 billion being given by individuals with a total of 471 billion given in charity, we have to stop and ask ourselves, yet joyously, how did we get here? Our special interests and hobbies section today is on podcasting. Yes, I have found podcasting to be rewarding and fulfilling. The difference between it and blogging, I found because I was a blogger, that it reaches more people in different ways. And I'm not going to speak ill of the written word. I find joy in it. But nothing beats voice inflection. And that's what podcasting gives. In that I found too that I'm able to give of my passion. There's a particular topic that may come up and maybe I don't possess that knowledge. I know some of it. Like when we spoke earlier in a podcast on wealth and what it means and success. I feel I had some of that knowledge, but then studying other people, reading about others that have been considered successful, but they were unhappy people, well, that gave me insight. And then I was able to connect with like-minded individuals on the subject. Another thing that I found is I've got reach and impact that I've never had before. Nothing warmed my heart more than opening up my social media, direct messages, or other forms of communication. And there's someone from India, or just recently the UK, asking a question or chiming in on something that they felt important. That brings me joy. Also, there's this networking and collaboration that you have with other podcasters, but also in some networking opportunities. There have been people that I've met through the podcast that I plan on bringing on the show. The only thing that's slowing us down is they're so busy with their podcasts and their activities, but we're working together. We're setting up dates. We're getting this to pen to paper so that it can happen, because it has really led to many people that I didn't even know before this began. Also, creative expression. I'm able to have the freedom to design and present content. When this idea was first brought to me of starting a podcast, and I've mentioned before that it was my father, the first thing I did was, and you might think I'm going to say, listen to a lot of other podcasts. But no, I have told some people that my issue that I have as a human being is that I begin to mimic. So let's say, for instance, I have a favorite song. What I will do, instead of singing that song the way I can sing it, I try to mimic the artist. See, that doesn't work. Doesn't come out right because I sound nothing like the artist. Well, that's what happened with podcasting. I had to look at what I can do. I can't have a podcast about cooking. I can't cook to save my life. So I had to look at what's my skill, my own unique style. And that's what I was able to create. And here, in having 4 different segments, it's a lot of work, because with 4 segments, 3 times a week, that's 12 different segments. But in that work, I find joy because I'm not in traditional media and I have constraints. I can be me. Matter of fact, look at us today. We're having a happy show, all about the joys. Well, what show has that on TV or any other network type thing? But with your own podcast, you can do the things that you like and the things that others out there And I keep asking, hey, give information. And you guys do. So when someone tells me they want this, we do that. And that finds a lot of joy. And lastly, I found just true happiness in skill development. Starting and running a podcast involves various skills you might not even think about. There's content creation. I'm constantly writing. I write all the time. Then audio editing. I just heard that when we switched microphones, the sound was different with some types of audio noise control systems in different cars. And some people were saying, well, when you changed the mic, it sounded muffled or something like that. Well, then we went in and we changed the microphones again. So I've become an audio editor. I'm like a studio engineer all of a sudden. Knew nothing of that, but learning it. And then marketing. All over social media. Before we even said a word, we built a web page. From that, we got on every form of social media, and we're marketing this thing, and we're communicating with others, and it's just become a valuable learning experience. Matter of fact, I've become an amateur cartoonist. For those of you who've seen the trailer transformed into a cartoon, it's as cute as it want to be. And yours truly was involved in that from beginning to end. So I started this podcast because there's plenty that I want to say, but there's plenty I also want to hear. And to be honest with you guys, I never wanted it to be a solo podcast. I always wanted a partner, or at least a rotation of partners, or constant guests. But guess what? You have to start out with yourself. You got to set that platform, and then all of those things will come. So over time, we'll see things change. We'll see things grow. And I look forward to that because you know what? The podcast requires a lot of dedication. It requires consistency, and it requires a commitment to delivering quality content. That being said, I have gained nothing but joy. And as I say at the end of every show, I can't wait till my next time with you. Our sunflower message will be a series of quotes by Maya Angelou on life, love, and happiness. We're only going to read 11 of them, but they are joyous. Number 1, if you have only one smile in you to give it to the people you love. 2, you may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them. 3, if you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. 4, whatever you want to do, if you want to be great at it, you have to love it and be able to make sacrifices for it. 5, I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. 6, love recognizes no barriers. It jumps hurdles, leaps fences, penetrates walls to arrive at its destination full of hope. 7, we may encounter many defeats, but we must not be defeated. 8, nothing succeeds like success. Get a little success, and then just get a little more. 9, nothing will work unless you do. 10, I believe that every person is born with talent. And finally, 11, try to be a rainbow in someone's cloud. How beautiful these are, and what joyous reminders. And the fact that she could speak on love, life, and happiness with the joy of Al Green in his song, Love and Happiness, both brings a smile to our faces. We hope that you found joy with this happy podcast, as much as we have. And on a joyous note, we continue to say that our listeners support us. Yes, on Cash App at $Live Laugh Talk, we've already began to get in donations and help with fees and microphones and sound studio and all types of other things. And we appreciate it. Our donators did not want their names given, but we thank you and you know who you are. And we hope to receive even more assistance through Twitter at Live Laugh Talker or on Spotify. You can hit the $ to donate and support our podcast. Any and everything is appreciated. Also remember to rate us at the top on your podcast platform. If it's a 10, give us a 10. If it's a 5, give us a 5. We need your support. And also another way to support us is to tell your friends, tell your family, and tell your colleagues about us. Tell them that if they listen to us and they have an idea, submit it to us, and we'll do just that on the show. We're flexible, and we listen to our followers. This is James and George's baby boy signing off. And as you know, I can't wait to talk to you again soon.